Good afternoon. This is Michael Shotnick, branch manager of Sierra Pacific Mortgage here in Centennial, Colorado. In this video, I want to talk about Zillow and specifically Zillow Offers. They released a product last week, so last Monday, about a week ago now, in the Denver area called Zillow Offers. It's been released in Atlanta and I think one or two other metropolitan areas, and I guess the demand's pretty high. Have a client going through the process with Zillow right now, and I thought it'd be some good intel for agents we work with, and then also information for prospective sellers, and just a little bit of background about the process. So the way it works is up front, an inquiry is placed on the Zillow website, and you tell Zillow a little about the property, square footage, bedroom count. There are some questions regarding quality of the property. So kitchen specifically, countertop type, master bathroom, if that's been upgraded. It was kind of interesting. There didn't seem to be any questions about furnace, AC. I do believe there's some questions about windows, but a lot of the questions were just regarding size and just overall condition. So once the inquiry is submitted, you're assigned a consultant or kind of a communication person on Zillow's side, and they seem to be very communicative. Within about an hour, there was an outreach from this representative, super easy to talk to. There were some texts in between phone calls, so very, very clear communication. And what the rep communicated, well, there's two parts of it. One, walking through the questionnaire to ensure that the property was kind of input correctly and confirming all the highlights were received. And then from there, she made it clear that the next step was for Zillow to do diligence on the property. It sounds like Zillow is contracting out to a local real estate agent to do kind of like a CMA and find out whatever they can about the property. And at that point, in that first phone call, that was communicated, and then she mentioned that Zillow would submit an initial offer within the next 48 hours. 48 hours came, and at that point, Zillow asked for another chunk of time, and I think it was about the 72-hour mark, Zillow actually provided an offer for the property. It wasn't on a Colorado contract. It was in their format, a link to their website where it gives you the dollar amount and then a bit of detail about how they got to it. It was pretty vague other than the dollar amount, kind of like a Q&A page with the dollar amount on it. So it was, I think, a pretty good starting point and easy enough to follow. And then from there, with no obligation or cost, you can elect to have Zillow come out and inspect the home. And that was fairly interesting. About 10 minutes before they were supposed to be there, 2 inspectors, a sewer scope company, and an appraiser showed up at the property. So all at the same time, 4 different people, no cost to the homeowner, showed up at the property, and they went to work. Pretty interesting that Zillow doesn't require any out-of-pocket, and they I'm assuming, are responsible or are paying these guys kind of on the spot to do the work. But it did come across very, very professional. Again, the communication leading up to this point was great. So from a process perspective, it seemed to be fairly smooth considering this program has been around a week, and I'm told they're a bit overwhelmed with the response they've had. So that piece is impressive. What isn't impressive is the number that Zillow offered. The same day as the offer came across, a Zestimate was pulled on this property, and Zillow's kind of free service where you check the value of your home, the Zestimate piece, gave an estimated value of $670,000, real close to that number. And then same day, Zillow offered $560,000, and that $560,000 is a net number. What they do is they offer kind of a starting point, subtract out fees, which I'm told are like 6.5%, repair costs that they gather via upfront diligence, and that's how they get to that net number. So Yeah, big difference, big difference, and they do build in a pretty hefty margin of error, or I guess allowance for repairs. Seems excessive. The property we're talking about here is in great shape. Really, no work needs to be done. So we'll see what transpires through the inspection process that happened today. So we don't know if that number from Zillow is gonna change at all, but it'll be interesting to see. And what I expect to see is kind of like the We Buy Ugly Houses approach, where really looking for motivated situations, people who need to be out of their house, they're okay, not proceeding much in this market. I don't know if that's a great fit. Market has definitely softened. Here we are in October, but anticipating demand next year, it's hard to say, but I guess they do have the ability of scale and working with large numbers. So I think they're trying to jump in and scoop up equity and turn these properties around with use of their technology. Like Redfin does, if you list with Redfin, you get a priority spot on their website. I'd assume Zillow would give themselves that preferential treatment if it's a property they own. I think it will be heavily advertised, and I think they're thinking that they can turn the properties pretty quickly, or maybe they've proven to in other markets. And then over and above that, I think targeting homeowners who just need to dump the property, which I don't know how I feel about that. It'll be one more source for homeowners to sell their home, which I guess is always good, especially if the market really turns. But at the same time, it almost feels like they're trying to take advantage of situations. But I don't think this will conflict with the traditional real estate agent a whole lot, in that the costs are higher, and the homeowner will have to give up market value to work through this process, which that's a lot for a traditional seller. In a motivated situation, sure, maybe, but in a fairly strong market that we're seeing right now, I don't know if there's a ton of value there, but maybe if the market turns and this product still is available, that's where their niche will be, and I'm sure they have the financial backing to sit on these properties for a while if they scoop up quite a bit when the market turns. Michael Shotnick, hope this info was valuable. I'll report back once this process is complete and kind of work through it with you guys here. Thanks so much. Have a great day.